That's the south. There's some.
Hey, Mike.
Water, down street, and West Main Street.
Yeah.
West Main Street.
Yeah.
I can get to.
All right, welcome to the September 2nd, 2025 planning commission meeting. The first item on the agenda is the meeting minutes dated August 5th, 2025. Everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
I have as well. I would make a motion to.
I did the Delaware County Christian School application. I abstained or recused. You have me as second, yeah, I'm not sure who favored the. But technically that passed 4-0.
Does that need to be changed though?
Yes,
Yeah.
if we don't know who seconded it, that's fine, we just don't put anything there. And then change it to 4-0.
Thanks. Other than that, I'm good.
So. With that minor change, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes, subject to that change.
I'll second it.
Second by Stacy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chris?
Chris, can you hear us? Chris?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Chris, you okay with the minutes?
Yeah, aye.
That worked out.
That's fine.
Next item on the agenda is zoning hearing board application 677 for 107 Palmetto Lane.
Hi, good evening. I'm George Brosman. I represent the owner of the property. This is Scott Emerson. He's with Bentley Homes. They're the developer. The township approved a, should I be going more in the middle for the, I don't know if the camera's working or.
Yeah, the camera's on.
Okay, is this where I should stand?
Yeah.
This was a subdivision plan that was approved, and I'll hand out a copy of the plan. And we filed a dimensional variance application for lot 7 of the approved subdivision plan. And we're seeking a front yard setback variance from the zoning hearing board.
Thank you.
Unless you can't read anything.
So what I handed out here is the cover page of the plan. And the second page of the plan was the lot layout. And you can see Highland Avenue to the top of the plan here, and the railroad lines are on the bottom. Bentley Homes, through the entity that owns the property, created this cul-de-sac, Palmetto Lane. Apparently before they came in for approval, they had originally were gonna bring the cul-de-sac down on this paper street on the other side of the property. Fairfield had a paper street, and in talking to the neighbors, you know, they didn't like that, so Bentley didn't utilize the paper street and put the cul-de-sac in this way. One advantage from the developer's point of view of using the other paper street would have been less of a cul-de-sac where it had to go on the property. It could have utilized some of the paper street, but nonetheless, that drove this configuration of a Palmetto Lane cul-de-sac. And under the township ordinance, you know, it's common sense too, but it says if you're gonna have a cul-de-sac, it has to have a vehicle turnaround area at the end, and lot 7 is the lot on the bottom of the vehicle turnaround that backs up to the railroad tracks. You can see it's a little irregularly shaped. And what we set out in the application is, by virtue of being on the turnaround area, which is wider than the rest of Palmetto Lane, the cartway, the paved part, and the right of way, it pushes the front yard setback further back on the lot. That, coupled with the railroad tracks being in the rear, I also was out there looking at the property today and realized I could have seen it on the plans, but there's a large stormwater swale that runs along the back, along the railroad line on the development property, and each lot is going to have an underground infiltration basin in the back there, but In the back, because of that swale, the yard also dips down. So if this house were set, at a 50-foot front yard setback from the right of way. The back of the house is almost right up on the edge of that swale, number one, and number two, there's just very little usable backyard. It also, you know, it is consistent with the ordinance, but you can see on the building envelope plan. It is a little further back than the rest of the road, so we think it would actually be a little more in character. To move it up to have a 40-foot setback from the right of way. It will still have a 50-foot front setback from the actual paved part of the vehicle turnaround. We don't think there'll ever be a need to widen that road because there's no more subdivision. We can go in here and all the utilities are provided for. I took a couple pictures. It's hard for a picture to do it justice, but this is a stake they set, which would be the back of one of the back corners of the house, right, Scott?
Yes.
And if we followed the setback with the home that was designed for this, you can see. That swale condition and the fence was put along the railroad tracks, so there would be pretty little amount of space there. And then this is another picture, kind of looking the other way. There's a house under construction on the adjoining lot. This is that stake. And you can see, you know, they did a little cut and fill on the overall track. The grading isn't done, but you can see here, how that swale is gonna be. If this house got built where this stake is, that fill will kind of go to the edge there, and then you'll just drop down into the swale. So we thought, because of the unique condition of the lot, the shape of primarily being on that part of the vehicle turnaround, backing up to the tracks and having the swale in the back, all of those factors would warrant a dimensional variance if the zoning board would be inclined. And we don't see any detrimental impact. We think it would be, you know, consistent by actually moving it up a little bit. And effectively, it'll have a 50-foot setback from the paved area. So we're hoping that the zoning board will consider this favorably, that we could get this one really. If anything you want to add, Scott?
Anybody on planning have any questions?
Where exactly is the swale you're showing? I'm looking at the plan where you have 66.5 feet from the back of the house to the
Yeah,
property line.
I've got a copy of the stormwater sheet of the plan. And I have some extra copy in there. This was one of the sheets of the recorded plan. And Scott, feel free to come up and chime in here. But you can see in the back there where the topo lines are really start to change, and that's where the swale is created.
Is there like a stormwater line under there? It's like a yard drain or something? What's wrong with that?
There's on the backs of all the lots along the tracks, there's underground storm management systems.
On the individual lots, but yeah, it's just, there's a
Yeah,
line
there's-
goes across the southern edge of the, looks like it terminates on the southeast corner.
Here, they connected with lines, it looks like there might be interconnecting lines.
No, so they're
Okay,
they're individual systems, but they do handle a portion of the upper site runoff. So it's controlling more than just that lot itself.
before my magnifying glass.
If I'm looking at this, there's like 2 inlets back there on the property.
That sounds about right.
And it's just the lot 7.
Lot
So the
7 is the one.
6 will still be 50 feet up that same radius
Yes,
of the cul-de-sac.
Yes, six, no relief has been sought for. They have a bigger back space, the way their lot is. They've got a lot more room back there.
And if you were to follow the sort of natural line of the street without the turnaround, you would be. You're still physically further back than the house to the east, the east.
Yeah, yeah. So I think this relief would actually be a little
More
more
consistent.
I think it might look a little bit, that's subjective.
I think Georgia has shown that this zoning variance plan. It shows. The relationship to the house next door, which is set back 50
Right.
feet,
Right,
and even at 40, it's still
It's
further.
further
back
away.
than that.
right, right.
And I
Good
think
point.
that's true of the one next door. Well, the one next door. was
Just because
back.
it's on the cul-de-sac.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah, good point, Tom.
which is a
Yeah, that's
110-foot radius cul-de-sac, or diameter.
Big.
No,
Diameter.
Yeah.
50-foot radius.
right. No, it says 60 on one
One
side,
side,
50 on
50
the
on the
other.
other side.
I don't know how you do that, but
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
think
have-
one's the right away and one's where the paving goes.
yeah,
yeah, one is for the right of way. one
right.
is
Yeah.
for the-
Right.
Let's see.
Chris, do you have any questions, comments?
Who configured the lots?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Said we configured the lots.
As I mentioned, the developer worked with the community and the township. They had that other plan that you might say they preferred that would come in the other way. But to address the concerns by the neighbors, not to reactivate that paper street, they configured it this way. So the developer did, but with consultation from the township and the neighbors.
How many other variances are there on this development?
I don't think any have been applied for except this one.
There was a driveway variance, if I remember.
There might have been some waivers granted for the development plan, but I don't believe any variances have been
Yeah, there was
requested.
there were a couple of waivers, I don't remember the exact details, but I think they had to do with the setbacks to the driveways from the property lines.
Yeah.
It was a setback from the property line itself, so how close the driveway could be the property.
To the
line.
property, right,
Yeah.
same thing with this radius, where everything gets kind of squeezed in the corners with the cul-de-sac.
Right,
I guess when I first was reviewing this, initially I was just like, well, there's plenty of room in the back. And I didn't notice that even with the setback at 40, it's still kind of in line with the other homes.
Yeah.
And I've walked around this area because I'm walking this here. It's a nice property, and the pocket park is coming out well, you know. I think the builder's done a good job. I do feel the pain of having it close to the swale, you know. You know, there could be risk of kids are playing back there, who knows, but I mean, it's just, you don't want the house to be too close to that, but I think for that reason, I'm feeling like I might be okay with it, so.
Yeah, I'm okay with this, you know, it's on a cul-de-sac, it's on the end of cul-de-sac, it's not like that right away, it's gonna be needed in the future. And, you know, if it's a trade-off of reducing your front yard to increase your backyard, there's not, it's a new development, so it's not like you're surprising anybody that's been there for years. I have absolutely no problem. with
Yeah,
that.
and then the railroad tracks there with being
Yeah.
elevated, I mean, I think the builder's probably done what they can with the back grading, you know, so.
Does anybody else have any questions, comments? All right, well then I will make a motion for the zoning to support the plan, I mean,
Recommend approval.
to recommend the zoning hearing board approve it. Is that what we're doing, Tom?
Yes,
Okay, I make a motion to recommend that the zoning hearing board grant the dimensional variance for lot 7 from code 455-14B. To allow for a front yard setback of 40 feet measured from the edge of the fundamental living right away. Where the minimum of 50 foot is required.
Second it.
Okay. Is there any public comment on that?
No public comment.
Chris, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good with it.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Okay, let's carry 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Still
See
up
you
with
all.
everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
See you later, guys.
Yeah, see you.
Next item, maybe,
Well, I can give an overview of the next item.
Sure.
A couple of months ago, in around May, we have coordinated with, CT&T, company, Campbell, Thomas and Company Architects, to obtain and prepare a grant application for the Conestoga Road sidewalks. And we also obtained a PSA, professional service agreement, to give us an overview of possible areas we can construct trails in the township. This PSA in front of you is for township-wide bicycle and pedestrian connectivity assessment. So that's essentially what he's going to be doing. Him and his team will evaluate the overall township, compare it to surrounding areas, surrounding municipalities, with the trails surrounding us, like the Radnor Trail, Chester Valley Trail, and all of that, and figure out the best options for connectivity. This is not going to be for construction. It is just an overall beginning stages of planning for potential trails within the township to increase pedestrian and bicycle activity. So it's in front of you to either recommend a motion to move forward to the Board of Supervisors, or you can recommend not moving forward to the supervisors.
Regarding the trails, could they be in? Like within the curve or outside the curve, like could be anywhere?
They could be anywhere. And so Bob Thomas has extensive work with trail systems and projects like this all throughout Pennsylvania, from my understanding. So he is going to evaluate anything and everything as to where good connections would be to, for trails, sidewalks. So he hasn't specifically picked a point. He hasn't specifically picked like the type, whether it would be a mulch trail, a paved trail, sidewalk. He has it, so it's all very beginning stages to kickstart what would essentially what is in the comprehensive plan as well as the updated ROSR.
to your knowledge, we haven't done this
No.
as a township before.
Nope, no,
And I just through the whole township, he's gonna look.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's not one specific area, it's not one specific district, it's not, just streets, and it's an overall evaluation of the township and how we can better connect to existing trails and municipalities and,
You said the current comprehensive plan calls for doing something this line.
from my understanding, yes, that is, since I've been in the township, that is what I have heard. A lot of people, the general public want trails and
Yeah.
connectivity and walkability and increase. For the PSA?
Yeah.
At most, it would be $45,000.
It says 50 on here, that not to exceed the request we'll have.
I think it's if we have additional information, but at most it could be $50,000. It's a specific, I guess it's like a tier system type thing, and anything above that tier, like what we request, it's $95 additional per hour or something along this.
And at the end, what is it, a product, is it a document, what is it?
At the end, we would have a document that would rank, it would say possible connectivity and maybe an approximate price of what it would be to construct. So we wouldn't have plans to say, here you go and build this, but it would be plans to say, okay, well, this is actually a really great option. You know, it's essentially low hanging fruit. We can take steps to actually get preliminary planning and design and move forward with that.
Okay, and then it would also identify neighboring municipality trails as well, all that. Like see how, like you said, they would connect potentially with other trails, right?
Yeah, but I think that's the whole purpose, is to try and connect to like the Radnor Trail and try and connect, get us the best way to get to, the Chester Valley Trail, or, coordinate with Chester County themselves to see, if they have any future trails coming. It's just to start the legwork to give us some sort of an idea of what would be good options.
All right, last question, when did this come about? 'Cause, I mean, we're on the ed bike trail.
I was gonna ask you, Nick, if this was news to you, or if you guys have discussed this.
I we missed.
Thematically, it's consistent, but.
Yeah.
This came, so I think a few months ago, it was discussed at a Board of Supervisors meeting. And they expressed interest in, additional trails and sidewalks and whatnot. So it was something that while we were coordinating with Bob Thomas for the Conestoga grant application, this was definitely in his wheelhouse. So we, asked for a cost.
Nick, is this something that you could see being beneficial for the pet bike task force? Or, I mean, is this something that, you guys can take care of, or like, you guys can identify sites for new trails yourself, do you think? Or-
Not to interrupt, but I think this would be a couple steps ahead, right? Like, this is what Bob Thomas does for a professional living. Not saying that the Ped Bike Group cannot handle it. However, the Ped Bike Group doesn't know, or doesn't have the resources, or hasn't. Maybe they do have the resources, I don't know, exactly, but in knowing the best way to connect from down here and then providing a cost. Right, so that's what we're gonna get. So the Ped Bike Group can say, yeah, this is a good idea to get from this point, White Horse Road all the way up to Lancaster Avenue. Right, we can try and do that, but with this, we're gonna have some sort of an idea of what it will cost to do this phase. Or is it feasible to do this, or what would be the best type of path for this area? It's just a little more detail, in what the Ped Bike Group, I think, would be able to provide. Right, and it's from my understanding, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
It's my understanding that the purpose of the Ped Bike Group is to, generate possible ideas, not come up with design. Where this would be more of this is actually feasible to do.
And this originated with supervisors, so they were looking for something like
The supervisors have mentioned this, yes.
Yeah, no, if anything, it should help our group. We have folks on there, we're coming up brainstorming ideas, but we actually look at other townships and they have documents, but I don't think we have a document, but, so.
I think it would be really helpful for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I would support this, yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we send it to the supervisors.
I
I
second.
guess. So I did this one, I guess my question would be, I know the document, the latest document we work off of, I guess is from the comp plan, but it does have. identified
So the,
high priority, low priority,
Yeah.
like routes,
The
like
roads
how does,
yeah,
are we reinventing the wheel?
so the,
That was my
yeah, so
question.
the reserve document has high-low.
Right.
Or various. And I think that was coming from public feedback and maybe, Tom Cometa's, study on what corridors make sense.
Right.
Now, if this is a bike expert or a sidewalk expert. This could be, it could maybe look at locations that even the roaster hasn't looked at or thought about, you know. I mean, to me, it maybe be like, oh, it's going through some, I wouldn't say a preserve, but like it's going through some green path and no one ever thought about putting a trail there. You know, so like,
Yeah.
maybe that would identify, saying this would be a great area, maybe in the future or something, you know.
Yeah, I get this was trail specific, I just feel like we should leverage whatever, unless we feel like there's something wrong with the work that was done in this 2018 plan. Sorry, it's hard to show you, but
No.
there is this map that shows all this.
Yeah, and Colin, you know what.
Priority
we're talking
routes.
about. Like, I would think. With this, task, kind of utilize this and work with that and come up with a.
Well, I think the difference between that plan and what would be provided from Bob Thomas would be that that plan is essentially a wish list, right? And what Bob Thomas would give us would be a more realistic, feasible product.
And this is specific to bike transportation, right? Or is it
What?
pedestrian and bike?
For this, are you talking about the document
The-
you're
the-
looking at? or
no,
Bob
I was-
Thomas?
No, what we would be paying for,
It's it's ped bike.
head and bike. okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, it makes sense, and it's a lot of what we've talked about in the ped bike committee. Like I said, I just don't, I would hate to pay $45,000 to
Yeah.
get the same map.
That's the
I
only
can
concern I would have
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Chris.
Yeah, I agree with Bill. I mean, I thought we had a pretty good series of maps with priorities and differences between bikes and pedestrian. And I'm trying to read the statement of work here to understand what this actually will do. It does say it will use readily available documents that exist in the township already. And then it'll produce key nodes. So Colleen, if you don't mind, I hate to go into the detail, but one of the items says key nodes. What's a node?
It's a connection.
And
So,
so yeah, I'm not quite sure I understand what this does relation. I thought we were just looking for money to do what we actually said was a good idea already.
I mean, I'm looking at this map and it's called the Easttown Township Comprehensive Plan Pedestrian and Bike Mobility, and there are various lines on here for dashes,
Yeah.
various colors for sidewalk, future sidewalks and future trails and paths, so. I
Couldn't you
must-
take the 40,000 and do a couple of the trail? Seems like we'll be in the same place we are a year from now. With a different
sounds like
version.
Talking about is he's taking all of those maps and all of that information, putting it together and looking at it to see if there are better connectors for pedestrians and bikes. But the thing he's giving us is pricing, which then makes it a little more easy to say, wow, you know what we should think about? We can get a grant for, you know, X, Y, and Z spots, because we know it only costs $1 million, so.
Okay.
Right.
Well, will he actually write the grant proposal?
It
When you
says,
write the grant, no, this is just to do the evaluation. So he's not, we don't, as of right now, we're not going out for any grant application for any of the, for any work. Right, this is just, to give us documentation to say, there's a, you know, here's a trail all the way over here, you can connect it to different, you know, he has relationships with other municipalities to be able to say, hey, I know that Tredyffrin is eventually going to connect this section of trail, you know, they have plans in the works to do that, so, you know, if you start here and go this way, you know, you'll be able to connect over here into Radnor and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the 6 bullet points of the scope of work, and they identify 1 and 2 are $7,500, and the 3 through 6 are 35,000. 1 and 2 do seem like work that's already been done, but I get it, they have to get up to speed and all that, that's not free. And then they do, to your point, Stacy, is come up with a logical prioritization structure and a probable cost estimate, so yeah, that is taking it quite a bit further than what we have now.
Yeah,
The thing I'm. Just reading the scope though, it says, for bullet point 3, it says that illegal right of way assessment is not included in the scope.
Yeah.
So that's not really.
These aren't design plans, these are not,
Yes,
it is
but I
not,
mean, this is like. It's not gonna give us, cause the land acquisition could potentially be very expensive, so this isn't really gonna give us. Like a,
They come up with a wish list, it's not possible.
yeah, it's, I'm afraid it's not gonna give us a realistic picture of what this could ultimately cost.
Unless
Like,
someone.
they'll give us construction cost, like what it might cost to construct that, but the land acquisition could potentially be exorbitant, right?
I don't know how he would design a trail, but I don't think it's gonna go through.
people's backyards.
People's backyards, yeah, but I mean, I'm sure he's going to do his best to be able to, you know, design or preliminary design a trail within township property or keep it within the right of way as much as possible. But I think what he's saying is he's not gonna go out and obtain actual right of way survey information and provide existing conditions like that, right?
I mean. I think we're in support of the work, I mean, does it make sense to say, like, I don't know, for the complete streets, the consultants have come and. Ask questions of us to try to get direction on making their work worthwhile. It seems like this would be good work as long as it's done with, you know, in conjunction with what. We've talked about
Is
and
this,
have laid
is his
out.
type of, is his. Would he be coming
Would
to
he
these
come
meetings
in-
and working with us, or
To us.
soliciting our feedback and stuff like that, or is this something where he's just gonna?
I'm sure if I asked them to, yes, but it's not part of the
Scope this.
scope of work to attend planning commission meetings.
But I would think if he wants a $45,000 job, he would come in and give us an hour of his time to. answer questions, I would think.
I don't think he would not, but like, I think if
And-
I asked him, he would.
Here's my question though, should he meet with planning commission, or do you think he should meet with the ped and bike?
I'm fine either way, I just,
Because I feel like they've got really worked so much more
yeah,
in depth
Yeah.
and.
that's all, I
Probably
think it's
make more
good work, I
sense.
just worry about someone picking up the 2018 plan. Working in isolation for 3 months and then
Right.
delivering us something that's like, listen, no.
Yeah.
That's my concern.
And if I
I
may, I
agree
think
with
it's
that,
the same
yeah.
thing, is there a township liaison or is the committee liaison? I think somehow he should be advised that he's gonna liaison with the committee. Something like that.
Yeah, I would be the township liaison, so I can communicate any information that you want and vice versa, like if you want him to come and present at a meeting, I don't think he would be opposed to it. But it's not in this scope of work, that wasn't what he was proposing, right? So, if you want to make a recommendation, to the Board of Supervisors, asking for a revision or a price for him to attend, I'm sure he would provide that.
I mean. I'm fine with that, but I think just the concern would be, there's a lot of work that's been done and this has to be copacetic with it. However, is the most efficient way to do that may not be for them to come here for 2 hours at 7 PM. But I do think the Pet Bike Committee has a lot of very engaged citizens on it that would have a lot of good information to share.
Yeah, I mean, at minimum, you know, you have a lot on your plate, Colleen, but,
Yeah.
and you do have a lot of information from various groups, but he should definitely be, what it should be written in here that there needs to be some coordination with the township liaison with the work that the township's already done with some of this, whether it's like the,
Well, he's been provided the comp plan and he's been provided the brochure, so he has all of that information at his fingertips. He has been coordinating with me, so, it's just a matter of explaining to him what the township would like, right?
I know you did.
Let me ask again, what is the ultimate goal that gets passed in the township? Is it money from some other source? What prevents the pass from being done today?
What prevents what has been proposed in the comp plan and the brochure? Is that the question?
Yeah, well, yeah, why don't we have them already?
Well, because the comprehensive plan are just ideas, right? It's just a planning tool to say, this is a good idea in the future. This would give us a better sense of reality if it is feasible,
Well, I
right?
think
So I think like maybe in the comp plan, they have sidewalk going all the way down Waterloo Avenue, but that's not really feasible in like reality because the width of Waterloo is at its max, right, or at its minimum, like we can't make it any smaller. And the right of way is at 33 feet, so there's no wiggle room, right? So somebody somewhere said, I think it would be a good idea to put sidewalk along Waterloo, but that's not really feasible in reality. So I think what Bob Thomas would provide is a document that is actually obtainable, like steps that we could move forward and say, yeah, let's have a trail here because this is a really good idea. And it's gonna cost us anywhere from, $1 million to $2 million. So we have some sort of an idea. I guess in my opinion, right, and for what it's worth, what Bob Thomas would provide would be a more realistic planning tool than what the comprehensive plan would be.
So a plan that could be implemented if we had the money then.
That is correct.
I mean, I think if we're gonna go after future grants for head, bike trail, sidewalk, any document that the township had will obviously support, is a positive.
It sounds, in that light, it does sound like it's useful. Could we not also ask him to write the grant proposal, or is that somebody else's task, or
Well, I
As
think,
part of
come out of this
01-6,
with it?
He'd identify funding opportunities, right?
yeah, and he has,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and the more grant applications that we submit, the more funding opportunities we learn about, right? So I just, finalized the submission for the Conestoga sidewalk, grant, just last week. And in meetings with Bob Thomas, he identified, maybe 10 grant opportunities that that project could potentially fall under. Well, now we have, there's an expansion of grant opportunities that we know of now. So, it's each project, we're learning a little more and more of what we can do and what we can obtain.
I'm just looking at this more, and it's that, like, for the preliminary phase, it appears to mention a collaborative process, because it says at the end of phase 1 and 2, we and you will have decided on the number and types of routes. And the bicycle pedestrian facilities to be documented in the final phase of the work. So there's gonna be some sort of back and forth, it's just.
Yeah.
Are you the you, or is he gonna be, like, the question is he gonna come to the township boards or something like that?
It would not just be solely me, it would be one of the committees.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
and that whole process will not exceed $7,500. That's what the
1
contract
and
said.
2.
Yes.
Yeah, so he broke it down,
And
yeah.
then. To move forward for phases 3, 4, 5, and 6, he's going to give us. Before he moves forward on that, he says he'll give us a not to exceed cost of the final phase. And he won't work on that until we give him written approval.
Yeah.
So right now, all this is committing to phase 1 and 2, $7,500, and then he'll give us an estimate for the final phases. And want to go some back and forth with him. Whether with the pet bike committee or with us or the supervisors, so I think this is.
Yeah.
Very reasonable to move forward, right at this point.
I think.
So do we wanna amend our suggestion, but we would like him to work with the ped bike committee?
I think, I mean, I think there's some value to working with the pet bike committee, but I also do think that there's some value to. Him coming before us because, you know, we have the ideas for, you know,
Yeah.
we're looking at.
I think-
the-
I think it would be better
Event
if-
Center.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it would be better if he came and worked with the planning commission.
Okay.
So I
So,
do, I mean, Colleen is at the pet bike meeting,
Yeah.
so she's very knowledgeable in everything that
Yeah.
we're
And
talking
also the
about,
pet
so
bike-
I feel fine.
The pet bike
She's our
committee can show,
lead.
if there's interest when he's here, they can come to the meetings too.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
Okay.
I think, yeah, okay.
alright, so I
Down that
think,
rabbit hole, but I think it was important.
I think we fleshed this out, Stacy made the motion to. Recommend approval of the
Recommend that the
supervisors.
supervisors approve this. And maybe we wanna add the caveat that that he would be working with the planning commission. During the process.
And Nick seconded it,
Second it. Yep.
okay, is there any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
I,
Chris, okay,
yeah,
5-0. Alright. Next item on the agenda is the Route 30 Complete Streets Initiative Study, Visions and Goals discussion. Are you on this one though?
And, well, I can kick it off. So last month, Bowman presented, an update. To the, Route 30 Complete Streets Initiative Study. And in that packet, he provided, the visions and goals for, that project. So he said next month, when they present again in front of the planning commission in October, he would wanna finalize this. Just so everybody is on the same page and it's not a last minute discussion at the October meeting. I thought it would be a good idea if you wanted to take a couple minutes to go over, and kind of discuss this document. Now, to have a little bit of time to see if you want any changes, let it sit in, and then you can finalize it at the October meeting.
And this has not changed from what was presented last
Yeah,
month.
this is the exact document that was in the packet last month.
I think the only thing that they added or talked about adding was Old Lancaster Road and going underneath that bridge. As part of the study, as opposed to just Lancaster, because that was such a connection to Lancaster Avenue.
Well, I don't know if they, as part of the study to figure out what to do.
I feel like that was.
I think there was discussions, but they have already obtained like all of the survey information, the potential. So I don't know if they would go back and include it. I think they said it was a good project to study, to
Okay.
figure out something better for that.
Okay.
But I don't think it's gonna be part of this project.
Okay,
Yeah, I get that scope's sort of defined already, but it is. It's critical to solving the problem we're trying to solve.
Mhm.
And I think that missing
Yeah,
link is
I
also
know.
part of the initiative that we're gonna talk about in 2026. It's on that list.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the only other thing I mentioned is should there be something specific about? This quarter is probably used by more middle and high school kids than it is adults right now. And should there be an explicit goal in this that recognizes that?
It's always mentioned all ages.
Yeah, but this is. You know, so
Uh,
especially noticed the last
maybe it
week.
should be brought out, yeah.
The traffic on last week versus 2 weeks ago is entirely different.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
the
can't
only
believe that they
comment.
recognize that.
I know they do, it's
I
just,
think they're trying to promote more pedestrian traffic along Lancaster.
The
Yeah.
only thing that sticks out to me is. I guess it falls under the enhanced safety for all users and also infrastructure improvements.
Right.
To improve pedestrian crossings,
I like-
ensure a safer environment for pedestrians. Would maybe wider sidewalks, should that be explicit in there, or do you think?
No, because
That
that's
kinda-
making an assumption
Yeah.
that they're supposed to be studying.
Yeah, my proposal would be to just add something in that enhanced safety for all users that recognizes that this corridor is used by children much more than a typical village corridor.
So maybe it's safer
That's it.
environment for pedestrians,
Recognizing nearby
and then
uses,
a
school
parentheses
uses,
that
something
say-
like that.
heavy school age uses.
Yeah, basically semantics, I'm arguing, I just do think that needs to be like an
Okay.
explicit goal.
Okay.
Makes sense, I maybe a distinction without a difference, but I do feel like it's my one comment if I'm reading this, that I say this isn't explicit in these goals.
Kelly, do you think wider sidewalks should be in there?
Well, the sidewalks along, Route 30 have to be a minimum of 5 feet, right? So you'd want them wider than 5 feet?
I mean, is that something to be looking at, or?
I guess, I mean, if that's what you'd like, right? So, along Route 30, since it's a PennDOT road, the minimum width of the sidewalk has to be 5 foot, right?
I have them on one side, but on one other side, it's not 5 feet, right?
But you also have buildings that are right on
Yeah.
Register Avenue, so that's gonna make it difficult.
Yeah, and who knows when those sidewalks were built, right? So I don't know if they're older or what, but I know PennDOT standard now is 5 foot, a 5 foot wide sidewalk. So if we install anything, that's the minimum. You know, anything wider than that, my guess is we would be getting out of the right of way and pushing everything back to
Going
possibly,
into the street.
yeah.
I guess like what my concern is, you know, if, cause there was talk of the road diet, right, and go. Who knows, if we do go down to 1 lane in Berwyn. And we had all this space to work with. I personally, I'd like to see sidewalks prioritized over bike lanes. So. I kind of, you know, I'd like to see that, so I guess that. I could see how they could interpret all that as saying that, but
Yeah,
I kind of want to see pedestrian uses, favored over bike or.
I think they'll be used more, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, obviously, if that is something that. All of you or the majority of you would like to see, I would definitely, you know. Ask Bowman to include it as, the vision and goal. You know, when you get into. Yeah, I guess it's a matter of like how wide you go, because, you know, the wider it is, the more you push back into either the private property, or you're gonna cut into the lane. Now, I think we're gonna have to find out from PennDOT if a road diet is even feasible, right? The road that they may suggest it to PennDOT, and PennDOT comes back and says, absolutely not, there's so much traffic on this road that we can't, you know, you're gonna bottleneck everything.
Yeah.
So, it may be a non-issue, because we're gonna have to keep all the lanes, so, you know, 5 foot is what we're gonna get, otherwise we're not gonna get any of the other amenities.
Yeah.
Right?
Mike, I think you didn't mention that when Chris was here at Bowman, that, and I thought he took a note of it, I guess right here, but that there was more focus to have, improving the pedestrian, facility versus bike facilities.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But doesn't need to be stated, I don't know, we could.
The last goal does say promote walkability,
Yeah.
that under improved quality of life.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I guess it's probably okay, I don't.
Once those designs come, I feel like we have more say in
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we're not
Yeah.
blocking ourselves.
Yeah,
This is
so
just-
it, that's a
right.
good point, Nick, like, once you see what is actually possible to do,
Yeah,
then you're gonna have a better idea of what you would like to see out on your streets.
yeah.
Right.
Do you need anything specific from us, Colleen,
Nope.
or just
This was
this
just
feedback,
a-
which is just, hey, we
just
like
a-
it, we
yeah.
just wanna make sure that pedestrians and children are, it's recognized.
Yeah.
The use of.
Yeah.
The space, okay.
This was just
Then
discussion
probably-
purposes, so you're comfortable in
Fine, in
October.
agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, did you have anything else, or you good?
No, I'm good. I mean, the first and the last one both address pedestrians that,
Yeah.
you know, specifically, so it's always nice to see that.
Okay, next item on the agenda is our 2026 initiatives. Final version of our 2026 initiatives. Colleen? Nick?
So last month, you had your, the draft list, it was discussed. I believe, if I remember correctly, there were minimal revisions, needed, if any. So tonight would be, finalizing that list and making a motion to forward it to the Board of Supervisors for their condition, or for their, you know, recommendation for projects in their budget, in their 2026 budget. Consideration.
So it's number 5, it's F on the last month's minutes. Those are the 3 that were mentioned. You know, number 1 was install a crosswalk at Burr and Paoli, Glen Ave, on the eastern end. Number 2 is sidewalk and Lakeside and Old Lancaster Road improvements at the Amtrak Tunnel and Francis Ave. 3 was improved pedestrian crossing facilities at Lancaster Ave, Lakeside Ave, and Old Lancaster and Midland. That's at the intersection. And then I think what was also mentioned in the meeting was where that goat path is between the Berwyn train station to the Fritz apartments on the north side of Lancaster.
Yeah.
Potentially looking at the sidewalk connection there.
That definitely needs some.
And then I think, Mike, you and I were talking.
Yeah, we're gonna add the, that's the right mechanism to do, Colleen, with the Devon Center in our request for the 2026 initiatives.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna add the revisit the zoning for Devon Center, for the Devon Center area.
Yep.
Was it, the format we, I think it was June,
Yeah, what,
that we.
what's the zoning there called?
It's the PBO, yeah.
PBO district, yes.
Yeah.
So. Devon Center PBO district, I say
Study.
interchangeably, yeah,
Yeah.
but we wanna study that and hopefully get some. Funding from the supervisors to proceed with that project.
And Colleen, the first 4, I think I have like that Word doc that I have.
Is this it?
Yeah, so that has more detail, you know, for the supervisor if they want to understand. More graphics and things like that. Yeah, that was the 4th one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we can just append our original Devon Center PBO review request letter that was sent to supervisors to this. And that would finalize it, right?
So what I would do is take this list and I would, so 2 things. 1, if this is the order, if you're gonna prioritize your projects, then I would keep it numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you are you just want them as your projects, because if this document is handed to the Board of Supervisors and they say, well, their number 1 project is, you know, the crosswalks at Berwyn, Paoli Road and Glen Avenue, then that is maybe how they're gonna say, okay, well, this is what they want 1, 2, and 3, and that's what we're gonna approve. So if you don't have a priority list, then I would remove the numbers, we'll just make it very simple and remove the numbers and just list your projects. And then you can add the item to this list, and you can attach your memo as additional documentation, since there's additional information for each project. And what will happen is that document, once finalized by the planning commission, will get incorporated into the board of supervisors packet under the liaison portion of their packet. So when they talk about, it could either come up during the budget, when they start talking about the budget, or when Susan goes to give an overview of what happened at the planning commission, they could say in your packet is the planning commission's 2026 initiative, like your request list. Okay,
So should we talk about? Do we want to prioritize these projects, or do we want to just leave them unnumbered? What's everybody's feeling on that?
As one quick question before we do that, the Conestoga Road sidewalk is already past this process, right?
Yeah.
It's now in grant application, okay.
so the Conestoga Road sidewalk would be, so if, see, it kind of gets a little wonky. So the grant application has been submitted. So if we get awarded the grant and want to move forward with the additional planning, planning and design of the sidewalk along Conestoga, you would have to budget some money.
So it
Right.
should be on
Yeah.
this list.
So, yeah, so you would have to put, add that to the list to say the planning and design of potential sidewalk along Conestoga Road.
Okay, so right now, just a grant.
We submitted the grant, so the grant is already submitted. The same with Newtown. The same with Newtown Road. If you want to continue to move forward with the planning and design of Newtown Road, then I would add that to the list.
Mind of its own.
They all do. Right, so, so that would be another project that you should, add to the list if you wanna continue the design.
Still, you know.
Because the grant application has been submitted for,
But if the grant never comes in, then I guess.
Yeah, I just think in terms of access, that's the most important
No,
pedestrian
I
access
think,
project, in my opinion.
Conestoga,
Yeah,
okay.
is it?
But do you think we need to prioritize these, or do you think we just submit them as, here are the projects that we're looking at?
in the past, it has not been prioritized.
then.
I don't think we need.
Yeah, I don't think.
Does prioritization factor into their budget planning?
I don't think it would factor into the allocation, but, so in reality, what should happen or what, would be ideal is you would have, what we would call a champion, right? So somebody from the planning commission would attend the board of supervisors meetings when they discuss the budget. And, if there is a project that, you feel more passionate about than another, and the board of supervisors say, hey, you know what, yeah, let's just move forward with the crosswalk on Berwyn Paoli at Glen Avenue. But we're gonna drop Conestoga and we're gonna drop, Newtown, and I don't think we should do anything with the goat path. And, you want an advocate there, you want somebody to say, well, no, it's a really good idea, I think Conestoga Road is, we're almost there, I think that's an ideal place, because you're connecting two schools, and you connect, the upper half of the township to the lower half, and they can get to the village. I think, why would you drop that,
Yeah.
So, when you start prioritizing, they think that this is number one, but it's a matter of having an advocate, it's a matter of how much funding is in the budget, right? So as of right now, we don't have a cost associated with any of these projects. We have no idea how much it's gonna cost. So,
So potentially the CT&C could give us some costs of some of these things too, right? As the connections.
they
or-
could, but I think some of them are pretty simplistic to whereas, we could just contact, we could ask Bowman to say, how much would it be? Or we could just estimate. We could, say, well, for a crosswalk, it could be, $10,000 to install a crosswalk from here to here, right? It's, it all varies, honestly. It just depends on which project it is. So, I mean, Conestoga is a good example, because we have, when we submitted the grant application, we had to provide a cost estimate. So we know that the grant, if we get awarded the grant, we asked for the most that we could get, which would be $50,000, but you have to provide a match. And that match is $20,000, right? So we know that that would be if, you know, you think Conestoga, you know, the planning commission thinks Conestoga is a great idea, and the board of supervisors say, yeah, this is a really great idea, let's move forward. We know that number has to be $20,000. So that's an easy one, right?
Sure.
Because that's the match that we have to provide if we get awarded the grant. So, but everything else is kind of up in the air. We don't know. So, and we're just kind of doing our best guesstimate. And then we can move forward to say, yeah, we can coordinate with a consultant to provide a price to see how much it would be for, you know, a crosswalk.
Sure.
Right, so if we did move forward with that and just say, you know, the board of supervisors budgeted $10,000, we'll just say. We can say, hey, Bowman, can you provide a PSA on how much it's going to be? Obviously, if it comes back at 20,000, we're gonna be like, wow, we really underestimated that. You know, what can we do? What can you do for $10,000? What is that going to get us? Right? Or you go back and you ask for additional money. Okay, so,
I think the design phase or design and construction phase for Conestoga should always be on this
Yeah,
initiative every year, because got the ball rolling. you know?
I agree. And looking at this, all of these three that are listed from our last meeting are connected closely with the Complete Streets Initiative. So that something will come of that. I think that the PVO zoning study and the Conestoga sidewalk are really high
Yeah. priority.
potential value projects that I don't wanna see ignored because we're so focused on the complete street, and that's gonna be a long process. I would hate to see these not get attention because of it.
Yeah, and number one, the Berwin Paley at Glen Ave. That's an active project that Different has, we're just saying, well, that's active, let's see if we can get.
Oh, that's not why, right?
So.
Yeah, I'm fine keeping that. That seems like
Yeah.
low hanging fruit that hopefully can happen. So I'm sorry, you're right. I was confused with that, with the crossing of the old handle. I thought that's number 3.
So
Colleen, I
are
also,
you suggesting that we rank these?
No, I'm suggesting that,
Which one's change?
well, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to champion the Conestoga Road and the PVO zoning. I do think those, and happy to take a backseat to others who know the Complete Street Initiative project much better. That's my strong personal feeling, is that those two should remain priorities, even as we go down the road on the Riverland project.
yeah, I'd like to go to that meeting too, you know. Yeah. I also like the way it's just short written here on this number F, because mine's very long-winded, mine is almost like appendix. So like same thing, just like making quick 5 bullets. Whether we rank them or not, you know, we can pass it over for discussion, or not 5, actually maybe 7 bullets now. But
I guess we need to, I have a question. We need to, does number 3 here, improve pedestrian crossings at Lancaster Avenue, Lakeside, Old Lancaster Road, and Midland? That's all part of the Complete Street. That's all being studied.
I think it was
Does it
brought
need to
up
be separate?
because we don't know when Bowman's project will come up with a project.
Yeah, I think like the thing with Midland was because, well. Trader
Yeah,
Joe's
supposed to
going
be there,
there, that's more of an immediate thing.
One of
that's gonna be
the
happening before.
discussions was, you have 3 sides that you can walk around. The problem is that the old handle site, there is no
Right, but there's
no project in
obligated to
sight.
be one whenever.
So the question was,
That
will the
project.
township front the money and then get reimbursed by the builder? And that was the question on that, which would be great if,
yeah, so ultimately, that would be a question for the board of supervisors, if that's what you want, but I think Bill is correct in the fact that it's being studied under the Route 30 Complete Streets Initiative, and it's also the responsibility of that property owner to do that, right? So I don't know. I don't know if you know, keep it on the list if it is a priority to the planning commission and you really wanna see it, it's not, it's a good idea, right? I've seen people kind of
Oh, yeah.
shimmy through between, you know, the sidewalk and that bush. So it's not ideal, but it definitely needs improvement. However, it's kind of incorporated in two active projects right now. So if there's something else on your list that would take priority, you know, maybe put it to the back burner. But if you guys feel very passionate about it, then yeah, absolutely keep it on your list.
I mean, slightly off topic, new one Trader Joe's is anticipating opening up.
It's a secret. They don't like to tell anybody when they're gonna open up. It's that,
How
It
far
sounds like-
along are they in the?
it's
process?
in the building process?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty,
Yeah.
pretty far along.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
guess-
I would think by like December, October.
Guess by holiday season.
Yeah.
I
Based
think
on
they
what
have, the
construction
biggest deal
activity.
was the plumbing and all the cases and all the drainage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now it should
Fit out
be,
doesn't take long.
no, everything else should be fast.
So I just. Yes, that's really important, but it's complicated, right? You have a development agreement that's in some weird degree of limbo that's supposed to put it in, and I don't. It's like we've been talking about it for 2 years.
I think it was just brought up
And
because
it's
the
hard.
kids are actually using it now.
Yeah,
And,
no, they are.
but I just don't know when it's gonna get done, I mean.
That's all gonna part of what's being studied. So
Would
my
you
proposal would be, you know, it needs to be on there, just. It's already, the complete street study is already part of the project priorities, that could be. It's on this list,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen anyway, Conestoga Road, the PBO study, and then Nick, your. Crosswalk on Berwin Paoli, at Glen Avenue,
Okay.
and the others. would
And the
be-
Amtrak tunnel,
I guess if there's a question, should that be listed separately from the complete street study? And it sounds like it
well,
probably should,
it's not part of the.
because it's
complete
not
streets.
in the site.
The old Lancaster,
Yeah.
that should be,
Let's
it is
accept it.
discussed, just so you know, it is being discussed, you know,
Yeah.
on our end. Coordination with Officer Boyd, who is the traffic officer.
Correct.
You know, we have talked about what the possibilities are, we have talked about, can it become a one-way, can we, you know, can we do this, what can we do? I would absolutely put it on your list, so it stays at the forefront of everybody's mind.
So 5 then, which seems like I don't want to do more than that, seems like you go.
Alright, so we're doing PBO.
Yeah. Then it's a
PBO.
PBO zoning study.
We have
The
the north
furthering
side.
the Conestoga Road, which is already in process, hopefully that grant comes through and it's just, but it. It's a vote of confidence.
So the Conestoga Road,
Sidewalks project.
Dude, we said the new tower.
those are the two big ticket ones, right? That's what we kinda.
Yeah, we talked about the Newtown one as well. Personally, I think the Conestoga one's a much higher
I do
value
too.
add.
I thought the Newtown and.
Newtown's the one
They showed
right
Newtown.
at Beaumont,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
right,
kinda,
like, yes, would be nice,
but the agree with talking, I mean, the one plus.
There's so many other ones that there's so much more activity on.
right? I just think it's relatively small neighborhoods that would use it. You have, if you walk that stretch of Newtown Road, there's rock on either side of it, it's an extraordinarily difficult. Physical site to put it on.
And there is a crossing sign, I did say on the way from that.
Yeah.
Is a grant been submitted for that?
There has been a grant submitted for the Newtown Road sidewalk.
Okay.
So, if we
So
are,
we need to keep that in yet.
I mean, if we get awarded the grant and we don't have any money budgeted for potential design.
So shall we just say,
Do they have expiration dates, these grants?
What to,
If we get awarded the grant,
yeah, they typically are, let me see, so we were awarded, I'm trying to think about the U-shaped corridor. I think we were awarded that in 2023, was it?
Do you have more than 1 year to fund it?
Yeah,
we
so,
could fund, so if we get awarded Newtown,
but you have, yeah, but you have to remember, it takes a while to design. And if we have to obtain easements, so, the U-shaped corridor, I believe we were awarded in 2023, right? And we have until 2027 to utilize the grant funding, right? And that grant for construction, so design and construction. So that has to be completed by 2027. So right now, we're in 2025 and we are finalizing a design. So the process is very slow. Right, and it's not just a little, I want to stress, the process is slow.
I suggest, what if the initiative is just like continued pursuit of sidewalk grants for Conestoga Road?
I
and
think that's
Newton?
exactly what you said.
We just want to express that we want to continue this process, and
Yeah.
I think it's high priority, it's already enrolling.
Yeah,
Can we just say that as that sort of,
yeah, because then, I guess at the end of the day, if you don't get awarded the Newtown Road grant application, then, you don't, it's not money just kind of sitting there that was allocated for the design of Newtown Road because you didn't get awarded the grant.
Right.
we got
Can you pursue sidewalks for Conestoga and Newtown Road, right?
correct? In pursuit of grants for that, design and construction, whatever. For those projects.
So
There's the letter,
they typically say.
which I was looking, Mike, it was their May meeting that we made the
They always
motion
get kicked out.
to approve the memo. For the PBO
Because it's like.
Yeah.
study, so we would just, that would be project 2, is that
And then
memo?
they come back,
Sure.
so it's like they say this.
Yeah.
And then. for
And then-
it just keeps saying.
Nick, you had, and then what would you add to that from your list?
As in ranking priority?
Just, I think, we're not gonna
Oh.
rank them, we're just
Oh,
gonna,
okay, I was
Just
just
one thing.
List them.
number one with the
We need it,
urban failure, just because that's under construction on the different side.
for Wind Haley Road crosswalk at
well,
Glen.
no, this is item 1 from the minutes, the August minutes.
And the continued construction of the U-shaped corridor.
About the bike and pedestrian, if we're gonna hire this guy to do something. And he's gonna work with us.
Supervisor, right, the pedestrian study.
Yeah, that was for 2025.
Continue construction
For the U-shaped corridor.
of U-shapes.
I mean, if that's,
And then you said we needed to have the Amtrak on there too, right?
yes, number
Yeah, if
number
you,
2,
yeah, I would
Makes
put that there, just so it's documented
So
and
we-
memorialized that you would.
it's from the minutes from last month, these first 2, we're gonna keep verbatim, right? You're good with that?
Yeah.
Good with that?
Oh, and Sharps Woods, I know that was a big push from the pet bike.
I think it was, but I thought we discussed that, we weren't sure exactly. What the path or what. I don't think you were at the last meeting.
The
I
last
didn't,
pet- Pet bike?
yeah, I didn't make the list, this list I have is what make the list. That's kind of like.
Sharp Woods didn't make the list?
No,
When was the last pet biking?
not. Late July.
Oh, I thought that made it. I thought Mary was. For Sharps Woods?
And what was gonna be the initiative or that, what would it say?
For the,
Verbatim. 3 were saying is already part of the Connecticut Streets initiative.
maybe,
Yeah.
price initiatives and planning preliminary design.
Number 3, I think.
Sharp Woods, so this one right here, you see that? What's
Yeah.
up there? So I thought it was to, consult with
Okay, so it got approved prior, but now you're saying to keep it still.
well, it's not up to me, it's
Yeah.
whatever, if, I just thought that's what the pet bike, I thought Mary had it on the list. I could be wrong,
So
98%.
Holly's referring to is.
Yeah.
What was approved prior to we actually acquired the Sharpsburg property, the township. But now it's actually what can we do to create some sort of a path there. So, I guess it's true if it's not on the list, then it could get lost. Hard part was done, the property is acquired, now it's a matter. Probably we didn't know what to do
To do with it, yeah.
They're working on a potential.
Do we need to know what to do? We just.
Oh, maybe, I mean, you don't, there's no reason to double dip, but I know there's somebody, that's his own.
Well, we can discuss, I mean,
And.
everything's important here.
Yeah, that's the only thing, we now are up to like 7.
Oh, okay.
Well, but several of them are
Are low hanging fruit.
continuing to do,
I,
so I don't think it's really 7, it's.
Yeah.
right, the continuation of grant application and things like that is, it's sort of just a vote of confidence in continuing the process.
Does that need funding allocated for it?
Which one, the Conestoga?
Is it
Like,
sharp?
So through Parks and Rec. Yeah, Susan just said Parks and Rec is also having that like planning. So they may request funding for it, so.
And they're gonna do stepping stones across the creeks and fix up all the trails.
So we don't need to worry about.
I don't think so.
I would leave it on there because I think having 2 boards say it's important gives it a little more.
Yeah, and you know, they may allocate it more towards, they may say, ah, you know what, 2 boards want it, but we're gonna allocate the funding in the Parks and Rec so they can handle it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a continuation once you say
Yeah.
continuate. The plan level.
Okay.
Okay, so I have 5 items that makes.
Okay,
Okay.
that's,
The
you,
PBO study.
Yeah.
Continued construction of the U-shaped corridor. Sharps Woods Trail improvements. Install a crosswalk on Berwin Paoli at Glen. And the Lakeside and Old Lancaster Road improvements of the Amtrak tunnel.
Yeah, and maybe instead of being so specific for the Berwin Paoli land, wasn't there was a couple different areas that crosswalks were discussed, right? So maybe you can make it a little more general and say
Crosswalks.
evaluation for crosswalks at, you know, intersections within
The township.
walking distance of the YMCA or something along those lines, or, you know.
I don't have a big dog in the fight, but I feel like we were talking about that in concept for a couple of years now, and then
Yeah,
the, Tradifference building a sidewalk on 2 edges of this corner.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about
specifically.
just connecting to it, so I think being
Yeah.
specific about that is okay.
well, the thing, and I'm not going to, I don't wanna discourage anybody, but so Tradifferent is building it, but they're not building the sidewalk to the full corner to cross it at Berwin Paoli. Right, so we would have to get Tradifferent to construct the sidewalk further. Tradifferent paint the crosswalk on their half of the sidewalk, and then we paint the crosswalk on our half of the sidewalk.
I think that's what the initiative is, to work with two different to see if they can at least.
Take advantage of the work that's already being done there.
Yeah,
Oh,
so.
So leave as
there
is.
you go, leave it as is.
So then that should change to its,
Continuation of the
collaborative.
sidewalk grants for Newtown and Conestoga. You didn't mention that, so that's 6.
Yeah,
I don't think you mentioned that.
that's right, okay. Alright, so 6 items,
There's one more.
okay.
What did we talk about, the more difficult one, the new one, I guess the Berwin Station to Fritz apartment sidewalk, I don't know.
That, in my mind, is part of anything that's on
Oh, that's
Route
part of
Route
the
30 between whatever.
that's probably gonna be part of,
Yeah,
There's no point in us stating that a second time.
okay.
agree with that, Colleen?
That's my opinion.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
continuation of the U-shaped corridor, is there any money needed to finish that?
Yeah, they didn't start construction yet.
So, okay, so it does, we do need to,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't realize that, I thought it was paid
Okay.
for.
So the two big ones of the PBO study, any pursuit of sidewalks at Conestoga and Newtown Road.
We have
If you want-
sidewalk funds for the U corridor, it's just not allocated, you're saying. But I feel like we've got some grant for that, don't we?
the U-shape, we did get grant money for that, we got $500,000 for that.
That's great.
Mhm.
So do you wanna put this list together?
I can put it together and,
Or do we need it? I mean, we could just use. Do we need to go into a lot of detail, or we just need line items and then just somebody to be at the meeting?
That sounds perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
I
it's
can
a,
I'll put together just a memo of the 6 priorities,
Yes.
and then we can explain them at the meeting.
Is that in the agenda this next time?
it will be in the agenda this upcoming Board of Supervisors meeting.
What date is that?
It's like 21st.
This 18th,
18th?
is that Monday? It's 18th.
No.
You probably have a motion to adopt the 2026
Okay.
initiative
Oh, yeah.
that's discussed for submission to the Board of Supervisors.
16th.
I have it in my
Oh,
calendar.
not the
Same thing
16th.
like.
We're talking about
The-
September,
15th.
15th.
September 15th, is that right?
I know it's
Yeah.
third Monday.
I was still talking. I was gonna show up that Thursday.
September 15th.
I feel like
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
a
like
website,
I
no,
must
it's
have-
It's Monday, September 15th.
Yeah, I'll
Are you
mention
showing up
in
for that?
my
Yes, I'll do that.
Board of Supervisors memo.
That's fine.
You know, I'll just say the planning commission.
Mike, I guess you'll include Devin.
And then I'm gonna, whatever.
I guess
I make, I'm gonna.
Meeting for Devin,
It's
I guess
so
the,
everybody can click
a
on it and
document
read it.
or has to be attached.
Colleen said. So we don't need to include that Devon vision document, we're just doing line items. Right?
With Devin Vision,
Remember that
The memo
the memo
from
that we put
May.
together back in May of what we intended for the Devon, for the PBO.
you can as additional
Can I?
backup. So I guess the question is, are you going to provide this, like this document, so you have an idea, like so they have visuals to see what you're looking at?
I think you need to.
Or are you just gonna have like a one-sheeter that says, the planning commission's 2026 initiatives, and then just have a list of items?
I think you have a list and then you have backup behind it so they can look at.
So if that's the case, then I would have the list, and then I would include the memo, and then have the documentation.
Yeah.
So I would just stay consistent with all, like, whatever your projects are, just stay consistent. So if you have, explanations for each project, then include the memo. But if you don't, if you're just gonna have an explanation of the memo and then nothing else.
Okay, so you have the explanations for
Everything.
crosswalk at Berwin Paoli, Lakeside and on Lancaster Road. Do you have the explanation for Sharps Wood, construction U-shaped corridor?
Well, I think, and I'm
But
gonna,
those are just continuations.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, for anything that's continuing, they already know the over.
Okay, so
Go
we
with the
don't-
project.
We don't need to worry about the sidewalks, we can just list them.
Anything new, I should just say, anything new, I would
Okay.
suggest having a little bit of backup so
Okay,
they
I
understand.
can
what
just take Nick's memo and take out the ones we're taking out and just put it in the PBO and be done with it.
Yep.
And
That makes sense.
then just have 3 bullets at the end for the new things and not have to explain them.
I like it.
Okay,
That also designates that those things are already in process, don't need as much attention, but we want to,
yeah, so work on. Okay, so I can just put a heading items that are already in process and, okay. Alright, so then I will make a motion that our 2026 initiatives include the PBO study for Devon Center, continued pursuit of sidewalks at Conestoga Road and Newtown Road, the installation of crosswalks on Berwin Paoli Road at Glen Avenue and East and Lincoln intersection, Lakeside and Old Lancaster Road improvements at the Impact Home on Francis Avenue, and then the continued construction of U-shaped corridor and the Sharps Woods Trail improvements. I think that's everything. Did I miss anything?
I'll second it.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And I will prepare the memo,
Great.
including all those items.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you send it out in advance, Mike?
What was that, Chris?
Can you send the memo out after you do it so we could look at it? I mean, just to read it.
But
I mean, the memo, right, the memo will be the one. You said that's what everybody-
I think I did, but it's been modified. The one last night I did not. That was what I said to you, and Colleen.
Okay, so the memo will be the one that Nick sent prior to our last planning commission meeting, but we're just taking out the. It's basically everything that's already, all we're doing is combining some of the features from the memo that we discussed at the last meeting with that original Devon's, the PBO zoning request memo that we did in May.
Correct.
So we're just
We just took
combining
the
the
same
two
memo
documents,
from
yeah.
May.
And then I'm gonna add that we're continuing the request for those three things, so there's not really.
Well, when you're ready to send it to the BOS, just send it
Yeah.
to all.
Yeah, I'll copy it to everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
culture,
Yeah,
okay, alright,
well done,
okay, so. I made the motion, seconded by Bill,
yes.
any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay.
this young man right here in the front has a comment.
He wants us to talk about it for another 45 minutes.
Ready to go home.
I don't think he wants to go take a bath though.
Maybe
Okay,
we should make a motion to see if he'll take a bath.
yeah. Alright, all those in favor, all those in favor of our 2026 initiatives?
Aye.
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 Alright, motion carries by enough. Is that what we need?
That's what you need.
Alright, cool. Is there any public comment on anything?
Nobody's on.
Colleen, there's no public comment,
No
right?
public comment.
Next meeting, October 7th, 2025, and Bill and I will attend the supervisor meeting,
Thank you.
to vouch for our initiatives. Okay, meeting's adjourned.
Thanks.
So exciting.
How much did you actually? I don't think you did 30 minutes.
I don't think it'll be 20.
What are you reading?
The negotiation begins.
Oh, good, that's good. Do you like it?
Any higher.
What grade you make?
Oh. Stay down.
No.
Have to start working now.
You're on.
Train tracks.
What's that?
Yeah.
In pops.